about his earlier point on PC in schools?
Oh, well, Stanford, of course. I mean, people who wanted Western civilization to go are getting their wish at Stanford.
Well, but what's your own reaction?
I think it's insanity. There's no way, we live in Western civilization. That's why you ought to study it. Now, if you have time left over to study other things, fine. But to talk about why do we study Western civilization rather than other civilizations, you might as well ask why do we study the Earth instead of other planets and other galaxies.
But don't you, as an African American, believe that in some way perhaps some of your own heritage has been left out of that kind of study of purely Western civilization?
I really wonder how many people here can trace back their ancestry to a particular part of Africa, which is itself one of the most multicultural areas of the world. And even if I could tell where my ancestors came from, it would probably be radically different from the way it is 300 miles away from that particular spot.
But doesn't that beg the question?
No, but the point is, you have a 24-hour day, and so there are no free lunches. And if you're going to try to spread the students even thinner than they are and pretend to study these civilizations, because in order to study them, you have to have scholars who've done the scholarship and the work. I mean, you can't conjure these things up out of thin air because Jesse Jackson is chanting. And it's going to take you. See, I've spent 10 years writing a book on race and culture, which is not it's still in manuscript. And so I know that if you're going to do this seriously and responsibly, you cannot do it overnight. And if you're going to have not simply me, but what you really need dozens of people doing this all around, you're talking about something somewhere in the middle of the 21st century. But if you're going to have these little tidbits of nonsense, carefully selected, tendentiously selected in most cases, then of course you're not talking about education, you're talking about propaganda.
But Dr. Sowell, go back to what you said earlier about the small steps that had to have been taken during the civil rights movement in order to achieve what has been achieved now. Can't the same be applied?
So I am all for people taking those small steps to learn these things in the proposed graduate schools for scholars to study these things so they'll know what they're talking about. And so they won't be selling Kwanzaa as some kind of African tradition when in fact it originated in Los Angeles.